Howdy people, Chris right here with another episode of the History of Art. This year is 1937, a rather lovely year for art indeed. It's also the same year that Leon Trotsky, I believe, escaped to Mexico, which is another little fun history tidbit. So this episode's a bit different from all the others. This time we will be covering sculptures and not just paintings, so yay! I actually don't remember the actual reason as to why we weren't doing it to begin with, but whatever. Ajax is an oil on canvas painting by the American artist John Stuart Curry, created in 1936 to 1937. It depicts a well-fed Hereford bull with two cowbirds on his back. The painting is on view at the Smithsonian American Art Museum in Washington, D.C. Ooh boy, I'm very excited for this one, because this is John Stuart Curry, so we've seen him a number of times. Honestly, at this point, I might even give him his own legend lens, but that's for another time. Creation. The painting was made with the intention to reassure Americans after the Dust Bowl years. According to Curry's friend Reginald Marsh, it was really a self-portrait. Honestly, I can see it. I'm kidding. Legacy. Curry featured Ajax the bull in several of his works, such as the Merle, Kansas Pastoral. The subjects also became a target for mockery among those who opposed regionalist paintings and considered it superficial. The satirist, this is a word I cannot say too well, so please excuse me. The satirist Marshall Glacier mocked both Ajax and Curry's position at the University of Wisconsin in his 1948 painting John Stuart Curry in the University of Wisconsin Bull Breeding Machine. Marianne Moore mentions Ajax in her poem The Buffalo. Okay, so let's hop into the actual piece itself. It looks gosh darn good. Let's see if we can get a bit better view here. Okay. Yes, this is a lovely self-portrait, if I say so myself. I think that Mr. Curry did an amazing job. You can see the actual... Let's zoom in a little bit, because I'm pretty sure you can see the amazing detail here. Like, the brush strokes he did here. Ooh, these clouds. The clouds are the first thing that actually stand out to me, and not the actual, our lovely Ajax here, or the birds. It's literally the work on the clouds and the sky. At least that's what I noticed first. I imagine you see big old bull. This is a bull, right? And you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, that draws the attention. But it's not just that. We also have to notice the background here, the greenery, and how he draws, like he drew it so well. Like, hey, so, this is of course, like front and center where Ajax is, consuming the grass. Then we go a bit further out. Yes, it's less detail, but that's a good thing, at least in my mind. Like, it still has some good detail to it, and we see the outer area, like maybe like a hilly area, or perhaps the start of a small mountain. I'm not sure. Trying to sound all artistic here, but I'm not too good with it. But speaking on Ajax, oh man, look at what he did here. That's amazing. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about Ajax here. This is a really good piece. So let's go to the next one. You remember how I mentioned Leon Trotsky? Well, this is dedicated to him. Self-portrait dedicated to Leon Trotsky. Self-portrait dedicated to Leon Trotsky, also known as Between the Curtains, is a 1907 painting by Mexican artist Frida Kahlo, given to Leon Trotsky on his birthday and the 20th anniversary of the October Revolution. Kahlo and her husband, artist Diego Rivera, that sounds freaking familiar as hell, had convinced the government officials to allow Trotsky and his second wife, Natalia Sokolov, to live in exile in Mexico. The Russian couple moved into the blue house, La Casa Azul, where they resided for 2 years. Lovely. Soon after the couple met, Kahlo and Trotsky began showing affection towards each other. A brief affair occurred, but ended by July 1907. A few months later, she presented Trotsky with a self-portrait dedicated to him, which he hung in his study. When Trotsky was assassinated in 1940, Kahlo was heartbroken and planned to destroy the painting. A friend who was visiting at the time, Claire Booth, Luce, convinced her not to do so and acquired the painting herself. In 1988, Luce donated the painting to Wilmania Holiday, co-founder of the National Museum of Women in the Arts in Washington, D.C. I can word, I promise. I need a little sip of water. Give me a second. There we go. Since that time, it has become one of the museum's most popular works. It is also the only Kahlo painting in Washington, D.C., museum's permanent collection. Okay, this is a quite a big one, so I'm thinking we do the inspiration for the painting and description, and perhaps analysis. I'm gonna skip over the acquisition and display. Frida Kahlo, 1907 to 1954, was a Mexican painter whose works included many self-portraits, made her a symbol of the Mexican culture, feminism, and LGBT culture. Many of her surrealist works depict moments in her life, often tragic ones, due to her tumultuous marriage to artist Diego Rivera and her recurring health issues. Around a third of her paintings are self portraits, which often symbolize her painful experiences. Kahlo's personal life and her artwork were heavily influenced by the Mexicanidad movement, which seeks to revitalize the culture of Mexico's indigenous peoples. I could notice that because the actual hold on, I'm gonna put this right here. You can see this because like how it looks. I've seen a number of lovely like Hispanic like cultural fairs and such. It's always very colorful. It kind of reminds me of like how this is itself. On January 9th, 1937, I can word, I swear. Russian revolutionary Leon Trotsky and his second wife, Natalia Sotolov, arrived in Tampico, Mexico, after living in exile for several years due to Joseph Stalin's assess and ousting him from power. Rivera was a communist who, along with Kahlo, convinced President Lazaro Cardenas to allow Trotsky into Mexico. The couple were welcomed Trotsky to take up residence in their blue house, La Casa Azul, located in the Coyoacan neighborhood of Mexico City. Trotsky and Sotolov would end up living in the house until April 1939, when Rivera and Trotsky's friendship ended, unfortunately. Kahlo and Rivera's relationship was often fraught. They divorced and then remarried each other, and each had lovers. Rivera slept with Kahlo's sister for several years. Oh my lord! And Kahlo had several woman lovers. The couple became good friends with Trotsky, although Sedova was not as close was not as close since she did not speak English. Trotsky and Kahlo's attraction toward each other occurred shortly after the couples met. He would leave letters to Kahlo inside books she borrowed, and they would meet in a nearby friend's house, calling Trotsky the old man, El Vigio. I hope I said that right. Kahlo was attracted to his resilience in the face of persecution and his revolutionary ideas. I apologize once again for messing up there, here and there. I will try to adapt. By July 1937, their affair ended and Trotsky and Rivera soon reconciled. Weeks later, Trotsky wrote to Sevilla, "She is nothing to me." In October 1907, she gave Trotsky self-portrait dedicated to Leon Trotsky, which was also called Between the Curtains. By the following year, thanks in part to Andre Breton and Jacqueline Lambda's visit to Mexico, where they saw Kahlo's work, Kahlo's first major exhibition took place overseas. Interesting. Okay, I think we'll just do the description. The oil on Massenet painting measures 30 inches tall and 24 inches wide, 76.2 cm and 60.96 cm. Kahlo stands poised and confident in the painting. Its setting is inspired by Bretta Bolaz. What is that? Oh, that. Okay. Devotional paintings of religious figures. It depicts Kahlo sitting between two white curtains on a stage, holding a letter to Trotsky and a bouquet of flowers. The letter raised to Leon Trotsky with great affection. I dedicate this painting November 7th, 1907. Frida Kahlo in San Angel, yeah, Lord, Mexico. Para Leon Trotsky. Con todo cardinal. Dedico esta. I cannot word this. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm butchering it, and then I'm gonna offend the our lovely Hispanic viewers. It's not right. The day is not only Trotsky's birthday, but the 20-year anniversary of the October Revolution, November 7th, 1917. Okay. Her outfit consists of a dress worn by Zapotec woman from the Isthmus of Tehuantepec, and was considered to be more subdued compared to other self-portraits. Her top consisted of a huipul, a commonly worn item amongst indigenous women in Mexico and Central America, which is red and green trimming. The huipul also features a bejeweled pendant, although her beige rebuzo, similar to a shawl that symbolizes womanhood, covers most of the top. White trimming and white flowers also embroidered her pink igneous or petticoat. Kahlo's hairstyle resembles that of a woman from the Tehuantepec region, being braided and adorned with a pink flower and red ribbon. She is wearing gold earrings and makeup, including bright red lipstick and pink rouge. as well as red fingernail polish. She also has one ring on her right hand. Okay, that was a lot. So this one is actually we'll try and get as best we can here, but it's a bit harder here. Unfortunately, we can't see the real deal. But I think this is really well done. She even has the whole unibrow thing going on. From overall, I think this is cool. Hispanic culture has always intrigued me, especially just due to the overall like pretty colors, to the outfits, especially for women. I'm not sure about the men's outfits. I've only really seen the women's outfit really pop out of there. I could be wrong, of course, but at least from my own personal like purview, if you will. Mm. Okay, so not much to say here for this one. Let's go to the next one. This one I liked. This one looks really cool to me. Girl with a red beret and pom pom is a 1907 painting by Pablo Picasso. It hangs in the main reception area of the private members club Annabelle's in Berkeley Square in London Mayfair district. The painting depicts Picasso's lover, Marie Therese Walter. It was one of a series of Therese Walter painted by Picasso in December 1937. A portrait of Therese Walter painted the previous day to the girl with a red beret and pom-pom sold in 2013 for 7.5 million euros at Christie's auction house in New York. Picasso's daughter by Therese Walter, Maya Ruiz Picasso, feels that the girl with a red beret and pom-pom depicts both her mother and the woman that Picasso left her for, Dora Maar. I'm starting to notice a trend with these artists, dude. They're kind of adulterers. I started to notice that as we've been going through this. They're adulterers are very heavily politicized. I'm sorry. It's really. I mean, it makes sense. They're all kind of like what's the word? Creative types, but Lord, it's kind of nutty. All right. Ruiz Picasso said that my father never tired of drawing my mother, painting her, sculpting her, engraving her, but in this painting, it's a combination of my mother and Dora Maar. It's my mother's hair and eyes, but the nose and tones recall Dora Maar, who entered his life in 1906 and shortly after I was born. It was bought by the British businessman Richard Caring in 2017 for a price believed to be between 20 to 30 million euros. Caring renamed the painting Annabelle after Annabelle's, the private members club in Berkeley Square. The club itself was established by Mark Burleigh in 1963 and was named for Burleigh's wife, Annabelle Goldsmith. Caring bought the club in 2007. The art critic Jonathan Jones, writing in The Guardian, thought that Caring has done with laughable arrogance is to try to short-circuit the complex, elusive processes by which works of art pick their nicknames over the centuries. But we should not be so religious about the names we pen on art. They distract us from looking at the image, as acts of idiocy go. This is therefore enlightening. And Picasso, by any other name, still has wonky eyes and a nose going for a walk. The Times reported that it was Staff Abels who had given the painting its new nickname in February 2018. Okay, that was a whole bunch of fun stuff there. Interestingly, this one does not have a Oh, it does. I was about to say whole license thing. But all in all, okay. I will always say this about certain pieces of art. I feel like the centerpiece here. This is not something a kid could actually make off the top of head, like the top of their head. But everything else just feels like I could have made this back in kindergarten. But it's really really well done. I love how the hair is done. I love how the eyes just. The thing I noticed the most is the beret, and I also noticed the eyes. That's what really strikes me first. Ah, man. I'm not really a big fan of the whole Picasso art stuff, mostly because, well, I never really understand it too well. But it all makes sense still. But it's kind of goofy. Okay, so let's go to our next lovely piece here, and this time we have a sculpture, or rather statues. Sculpture, statues, same thing. Well, not really, but that's a video all in itself. The difference between sculptures and statues. Might do that one day. Might do that. So this is a figure I love. I love so much. Paul Bunyan. So I grew up on the East Coast, so there was no Paul Bunyan like mythos here. But out in the Midwest, all sorts of Paul Bunyan stuff, all sorts. So before we actually hop into the actual like statue itself or statues, there's two of them. I want to mention that I will be making a new series very soon. Not this week, but next week. You will see a new series pop up called Cursed Creations, Folk Tales, where I'll be diving into, well, folk tales like Paul Bunyan. I'm very excited for that one, so I hope you guys look forward to it. So let's actually begin before I ramble off. Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox are the names of a pair of large statues of the American folk hero Paul Bunyan and his ox, located in Bemidji, Minnesota. Why do you give names like this? It's like you're trying to torture me. This roadside attraction has been listed on the National Register of Historic Places since 1988. Built in 1907 to attract attention of passing motorists, these are similar to such structures as the Benoit milk bottle, the Teapot Dome Service Station, or the comparably colossal Dinosaur Park sculptures. In South Dakota, these were all built in a period of time when automobile travel became increasingly affordable and common. Ooh. The pair of statues are said by the Kodak Company to be the second most photographed statues in the United States, behind Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. By the way, I fact checked this. It's not correct anymore. I believe it's like these two statues are number 8 now. At least last I checked. Okay. History. The city of Bemidji. That's what we're going to call it, okay? Is located in a vast woodland and lake region as early as the 1890s. The town enjoyed a modest tourist trade when rail connections were constructed to Bemidji in 1898. Promoters began the development of lakeshore sites for cottages, hotels, and resorts. Most of these resorts catered to hunters and anglers. In the 1920s, the rise in automobile usage and affordability contributed to a significant boom in Bemidji's tourist industry, but it suffered during the Great Depression. Enter Paul Bunyan in Babe the Blue Ox. Oh man, I love this. This is so much fun. As a means of stimulating tourism in Bemidji, a number of local civic organizations sponsored a winter carnival meant to promote the city's resources for winter sports. Due to Bemidji's once prominent status as a logging and lumbering center, the celebrations focused on Paul Bunyan, the larger-than-life lumberjack who is an American folk hero. On January 14th, 1907, the carnival opened with Errol L. Grinnells Sr. elected as the Carnival King, and 2 giant statues were unveiled at the event, one of Bunyan and the other of his giant blue ox, Babe. The pair were to serve as the carnival mascots. Babe was brought into town on a Grinnell's implement and fuel code truck arranged so that its exhaust exited through Babe's nostrils. The statues were designed by Leonard L. Pitney of Park Rapids, Minnesota. Paul was built by Carl Ottle, 1897 to 1966, a local cement man. Babe was built by N. Edward Johnson, 1902 to 1999, who owned the Bemidji Boat Factory. In March 2006, the Rotary Club of Bemidji raised $53,000 along with $68,000 federal grant. The club undertook to repair some damage to the statues. The money was also allocated for use in maintenance, with the majority stated for stabilizing the ground beneath the statues to lessen shifting and freezing temperatures. The work included repairing a 1-inch wide, 25 millimeter crack in Babe from the neck to the hindquarters, which they continued to widen despite yearly fixes by the city with caulk and blue paint. In October 2013, local organizers ran the first Bemidji Blue Ox Marathon and planned, of course, to run past the statues. I wonder if it's still a thing. You know what? I'm looking into this. It seems to be still a thing. A whole site, everything. Dimensions. Paul Bunyan is approximately 18 feet, or 5.5 millimeters, or rather meters, not millimeters. Tall and measures 5 feet, 1.5 meters across at his base. From toe to heel, Paul Bunyan measures 3 feet, or 0.991 meters. In Babe, the Blue Ox is about 10 feet, or rather 3 meters tall, and 8 feet, 2.4 meters across at the front hooves, from nose tail. Babe measures about 23 feet, or rather 7.0 meters. And this here, a bunch of popular culture stuff. I'm very excited, by the way, just to cover Bunyan. That'll be a whole thing. Just look at these statues, dude. They look derpy. I love it. Is this so wild? These statues have been here for a hot minute, since 1936, and they're still being repaired today. It is very obvious, it's different sculptors who made these statues. But oh man, Paul's stash. Look at that damn thing. Look at his broad shoulders, and her eyes are haunting. I love it. I imagine this is a tail. If not, it might be some damage going on there. I'm not too sure, but I'm very hopeful that this all remains here for a very long time because Paul Bunyan is cool. It kind of makes me want to go to Minnesota just to see this, but but probably not for a while because Minnesota is cold. But onwards to our next one. I'll actually leave this here just in case I want to use it as the cover. Well, I think this might be the actual choice, by the way. Atlas. Atlas is a whole thing going on here. Atlas is a bronze statue in Rockefeller Center within the International Building's courtyard in Midtown Manhattan in New York City. It is across Fifth Avenue from St. Patrick's Cathedral. The sculpture depicts the ancient Greek titan Atlas holding the heavens on his shoulders. That's the heavens, huh? Big old orb. Atlas was created by the sculptor Lee Laurie, with help of Rene Paul Chamberlain, or Chamberlain, something like that, and was installed in 1937. Atlas cast at the Roman Bronze Works. Atlas was cast at the Roman Bronze Works, a subsidiary of the General Bronze Corporation. Is it still a thing? No. In Corona, Queens. The Roman Bronze Works had long been a subcontractor to Louis C. Tiffany's studio. I can word, I swear. Which was then bought out by the General Bronze Corporation in 1928. Under the ownership of General Bronze, the Roman Bronze Works produced some of its finest bronze artwork from sculptors like Paul Manship and Rene Chamberlain and Laurie. The sculpture is in the Art Deco style of Rockefeller Center. The figure of Atlas in the sculpture is 15 feet, or rather 4.6 meters tall, while the entire statue is 45 feet, or rather 14 meters tall. It weighs 14,000 pounds, or rather 6,400 kilograms. It is the largest sculpture at Rockefeller Center. Atlas is depicted carrying the celestial vault on his shoulders. The north-south axis of the armillary sphere on his shoulders point towards the North Star position, relative to New York City. The statue stands on one muscular leg atop a small stone pedestal, whose corner faces Fifth Avenue. And we have tons of lovely pop culture stuff here. I've actually seen the Atlas a few times, depicted in media, so that's a fun thing. Oh man, look at it. He's fucking ripped. He has what Rick and Morty call fuck gutters. Is that what they call it? And what even is that? Yeah, he has some muscular ass legs. This is really well detailed. Laurie put his heart in this one, or her heart. I'm not sure if Laurie is a man or a woman. Okay, so it's a man. Okay, I had to make sure. So beyond that, oh man, so I love Art Deco. I probably will be doing a whole video on Art Deco one of these days. It's one of the styles that I think really makes America America. And of course, it was primarily in New York, but where I live, there used to be Art Deco buildings everywhere. There used to be Art Deco everywhere. At least where I live, and it's all gone now. All looks boring. All modern bullshit. But let's get a better look here. Oh, yeah. This looks hard as fuck, dude. This feels like some totalitarian shit right here. I love it. I'll be keeping this one actually because this goes hard. Goes way too hard. That's a thumbnail right there. The first water. Okay. Equestrian statue of Anthony Wayne. Anthony Wayne is a gilded bronze equestrian sculpture of Anthony Wayne by John Gregory at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. It is located at the 26th Street and the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. It was dedicated on September 17th, 1937. The inscription reads, "Base plaques on both north and south sides. Sons of the Revolution. Exi Momentum Ere Pernis 1776 to 1883. Base north side above plaque in raised letters, Anthony Wayne, 1745 to 1796. Restriction at the foot of base reads, Anthony Wayne, a memorial of his valor, a tribute to his achievements in the War of Independence. The Pennsylvania Society Sons of the Revolution here inscribe his name in honor. 1937. Okay, I struggled with that one a little bit more than I actually should have. But that's nothing new. Okay. So downtown where I live, there's a statue kind of like this, but it's a bit bigger and it's black. I love these statues. It's really reminiscent of another time in our history. And the horse. Look at those big old eyes. It has a little scruff here with the hair, the ears. Woo! I really dig it. This is nice. I kind of wish we could actually see the base a bit better. The base is kind of, kind of cut off. This is how it is sometimes. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's a bit different than usual. I kind of stumbled there quite a few times. I will work on it, I promise. I just didn't realize that I cannot try and talk so fast. I kind of like rush a bit, and it really makes me stumble when I kind of like say words way too fast. I'm trying to get it all out. When I can really take it slow here, and I don't have to, rush. It's my own video. It's no deadline here. But anyway, enough rambling from me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe for more. See you guys next time.